Hi, my name is Milda, and I will be going over my idea for the Executive Tech Center. So what is the Executive Tech Center? Earlier in the year, I created an idea for an executive functioning workshop. After some brainstorming and chatting with others, I realized there is a need for a learning center, specifically a learning center that is targeted towards individuals who have learning difficulties or individuals with executive functioning issues. Before I go on to talk about my learning center, I wanted to talk about my executive functioning workshop and why I overall decided to expand it. So my workshop runs on Saturdays, where I teach a variety of life skills and provide support for individuals. I also provide daily tips on social media, so people who do not attend my workshop can still have access to a variety of skills. I decided to expand my workshop because there's only so much you can do one day a week or through social media. I've also found that the individuals who attend my workshop are seeking resources for their education. So what kind of issues can pop up with executive dysfunction? Executive dysfunction can cause issues with working memory, impulse control, reasoning, remembering details, time management, and problem solving. I can say from personal experience, a lot of these issues can make learning very difficult. For instance, being in a math class, you need to have reasoning skills as well as problem solving. In other areas of school, we need time management, remembering details. There could be a lot of reasons why an individual with executive functioning might struggle in school. The vision statement for the Executive Tech Center is to be a place where individuals have the resources they need to succeed. I envision a center that has minimal barriers to success. Often individuals seeking educational resources, there can be a lot of barriers. For instance, to use a university disability center, individuals need to have a diagnosis or an updated diagnosis. Some individuals may not have a disability, they just might have learning struggles. Or they may not want to share that they have a disability. Whatever the circumstance, I want my center to be a place where individuals do not have to worry about those kinds of barriers. The values of the Executive Tech Center are respect, support, privacy, and growth. I want both the participants of my center to feel respected and supported. Privacy is a big part of our values. I want individuals to feel they can trust staff with their concerns and not feel obligated to share personal information. I know that when I was a kid, I did not want to share that I have ADD, but I often had to just to be able to access resources. I want people to not feel pressured at my center. I want this to be a space where individuals can receive what they need to succeed and be able to grow in the process. Growth can look different for many different people. Growth can be feeling confident in their abilities. Growth can also be individuals being more successful in school. Either way, I want my center to be a place where individuals can grow in the areas that they need. As I mentioned before, my center will be stocked with various assistive technology resources. Some of these include scan-to-text pens, voice-to-text, audiobooks, headphones for noise reduction, and resources for reading and writing as well. There are various technologies that can help an individual be able to better understand material. I also plan on using surveys to try to figure out what other resources the individuals in my program might need. My communication goals include using social media to let my clientele know that I will be launching a learning center. In my workshop, I already have clientele that utilize the workshop and visit my social media to learn various executive functioning skills. I plan on continuing to make social media posts, but I will adapt to include technology that is in my center, and also to explain various areas that my center will be touching upon. I also plan to communicate with libraries and schools to help get my idea out there. My overall goal would be just to get the word out about my service and hope individuals will want to attend my center. In my communication goals, I also hope that people will see my idea and also want to help invest because my center is a nonprofit. So I'm hoping I can use social media to better network with individuals who in the future could help me better fund the center. As I mentioned before, my target audience is going to be individuals with learning struggles, as well as individuals who have executive functioning struggles. I'm guessing that the age group who will attend my center are going to be 18 to 35, since that is typically the college age group, but of course my center will be open to all ages, since I know especially in grad school there are many people with varying ages. In my market analysis, I have figured out the demographics of my prospective clientele. I have also figured out the age groups of my clientele. I am guessing that the people who attend my center will be between the ages of 18 and 35. In my market analysis, I have also figured out what other competition my clientele are currently using. I have done this by creating Instagram polls and emailing out surveys. In my industry analysis, I first began to analyze if there is a need for my kind of center. As I mentioned in the market analysis, there are various centers and other resources available for individuals to use. In my research, I have also discovered that my competition requires an updated diagnosis, or sometimes their costs are too much for the individuals. My center will help eliminate those barriers. I have also considered some issues that can come up in my industry. My center will probably be classified in the education industry as well as the disability industry. Specifically in the education industry, I think it is important to recognize that college enrollment is down. Research predicts that in the next 10 years, enrollment will be down between 13 and 29%. This will ultimately affect my kind of center. I might have to adapt more to be an executive functioning center rather than education center. In times, we always have to be adapting to the future and what happens. In my customer analysis, I first had to start off by figuring out what my customer needs. I have determined through my workshop that I've been running that my customers have a need for educational resources as well as the need for executive functioning skill building. Through my market analysis, as I have mentioned, I have determined that my customers will be between the ages of 18 to 35, although all students are welcome. I have also decided to make a flexible payment plan for my customers, especially because they're college students, and a lot of college students either work part-time or do not work at all. I know how difficult it can be paying for resources, especially while being a student. When thinking about my expected strategic advantages, I think my biggest advantage of my learning center will be that I will have access to a wide range of technology at my center. As mentioned before, I think that's the greatest differentiation between my center and my competition. I also believe that the fact that my center tries to eliminate barriers such as requiring a diagnosis to receive accommodations also gives me an advantage, especially over disability centers. To evaluate the success of my center, first I will begin by analyzing the conversion rates of the people who attended the grand opening of my learning center. I will also analyze the conversion rates of the people that inquire about my center and then end up using it. I also will provide my clientele surveys so I can know what I can improve on, as well as how my customers are enjoying the center. In conclusion, I hope the Executive Tech Center will be a useful resource for a wide range of individuals. I hope those who struggle with their schoolwork can use my center to improve their schoolwork. I hope individuals who struggle with executive functioning issues can use my center to help skill building. I also hope to get my word out using social media as well as my community. I plan to use the market and industry analysis to figure out what changes I need to make as the years go on, since things are always changing, as have we seen in the pandemic. I also plan to utilize the feedback that I receive from my community to better build on my business. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my business idea.